Good afternoon, South Mississippi. Meteorologist Taylor Graham here. We continue to track Hurricane Francine this afternoon. Just got in the latest update as of 2 o'clock. Not much has changed with the strength. Still winds of 90 miles per hour, but it is moving just a little bit faster at 17 miles per hour to the north and east, and it is still set to make landfall in Louisiana later this afternoon or this evening. Pressure has remained the same, it seems like, at about 976 millibars, and hopefully it's not going to be strengthening anymore, and I'll show you the reason why in just a few moments. But zooming in a little bit here closer to home, rainfall beginning to pick up more so along the coast, and we're going to have to watch these heavier bands of rain not only for flooding rainfall but also for a few spin up tornadoes later this afternoon and also into the evening. Latest track from the National Hurricane Center has Francine making landfall as a Category 1 hurricane again later this evening, and then as it moves up into Louisiana, we'll see some of those rain bands certainly here in South Mississippi, and then eventually it will be weakening by Thursday morning. So noticing here on satellite, you may see how lopsided it is. It's not very symmetrical. It is battling some wind shear. That is some good news. It's moving into an environment that's not favorable for tropical systems. So while it's still going to be causing significant impacts, hopefully this means Francine is not going to be strengthening too much more before making landfall, and that window of opportunity is getting smaller and smaller. Tropical storm warnings still remain in effect for us, and now they've moved up into the Pine Belt. It looks like we still could see some pretty significant surge later this evening and even overnight tonight. 4 to 6 feet of surge possible in Hancock and Harrison counties, and also along or in some of those low-lying areas. Storm surge warnings still remain in effect all along the coast. Surge may be just a tiny bit lower at 3 to 5 feet in Jackson County, but that still could cause some significant impacts. Other than that, we now have a tornado watch that has been issued for many of us until 11 o'clock this evening. Like I said, within some of these rain bands, we may get some quick spin up tornadoes, so stay on guard for any tornado warnings later this afternoon and into the evening. This run of futurecast shows some of the heavier rainfall moving in by the evening and even late tonight. The wind is still going to be pretty significant even as those rain bands move out of the way, so the wind may not die down enough until the later part of Thursday morning as Francine begins to move a little bit farther inland. Of course, the closer you are to the center of circulation, the higher wind gusts you're likely going to see. Still could see some wind gusts near 50 to 60 miles per hour. Farther to the east, the wind not as strong, but with these gusty winds, we still could be dealing with some power outages around here. Certainly the higher wind gusts are expected to our south and our west into parts of Louisiana, but if the center moves a little bit closer to us, still could see some pretty gusty winds, again near 50 to 60 miles per hour, maybe even a little bit higher in a few isolated spots. So power outages still possible today. Just be a little prepared for that. As far as Southeast Louisiana, they are more likely to see those widespread power outages. Heavy rain also going to be a threat here in South Mississippi. We still remain under a flood watch until Thursday morning. We're already seeing a lot of that rain right now. Still could end up with totals of about 3 to 6 inches once it's all said and done, and that certainly could lead to flash flooding, and it's also going to be impacting some of our area rivers. So to sum it up, rain is going to be one of our biggest threats today, up to 6 inches, maybe a few spots at about 6 to 8 inches. Those will be in more isolated areas. 3 to 5 feet, up to 6 feet of surge possible, especially in the Hancock County. Gusty winds of 50 to 60 miles per hour. And we'll also be on guard for some of those quick spin up tornadoes later this afternoon and into the evening. We're going to have another update coming up at the top of the hour at 3 o'clock, and we'll take an even closer dive into how Francine is impacting the coast coming up on our 4 o'clock show.